Namju Kare, Nana Teranga.
Namgir Rinpoche, Omani Pamon to Denguri.
Sugar, Tamu.
Then a goat. That's it. Young
go to the Yankee go there.
The Rinpoche in a Lama Shamba and Chim.
Okay.
When I mentioned that in a Kato Campantinary, Kato go to the Sari.
Thank you. Mambo Lando, Katambo Chavi. Nani Barasa Chavi. And the dance.
You go, sorry. Go, sorry. Mix
Garchen Buddhist. German
Swiss Mara.
Swiss. Ci sta vedo.
Sarena. Ti tu ti gyotis gyotok.
Bene.
Tana gyak ngapchukan kire.
Okay.
Kamashi te gyosar. Somshi.
Mette så kan du. Det ska du gå och fix det då.
La.
Mette så gå och kan du fix.
Kachu.
Kachu.
Ja, på då. Min mamma gick sig med ina gick sig kan inte be av det.
Okej. Ja, 지나가 망고 뭐. 지나가 망고 뭐.
말해.
오케이.
플레레송.
Okay, I'm German, the right one. Oh, so that's an simple thing. Simple, the simple. Drumba tan löpa ni utvasem. Den drumba te song sene. Har det löpa ta de långa grupper till konto jag på kison ta gå då men då. Tanande.
Innan så chick man dock chim.
Ja, det rimus ja. Jag inte sig säga kan då.
Det är ju så precis det var.
Okej. Tanande långa grupper till jag på kison ska det tror jag.
Tamutik går den.
Ja.
Tamutik går.
Really.
So in a Shamatha practice the division was Shamatha with characteristics and without characteristics. And so without characteristics we have had the focusing and relaxation, and so we finished talking about focusing. And then also before we talked about this ninefold breathing. So we just showed really one round. And how was that? Did you understand that? Was that clear? Or should we do it again? Do it again? Thank you, Akosa.
Okay. Tatambo. Nan chip dingena. La patio nyam yab de dora. Sa nyam yab de kale phashik. Tando se phashin ro. Tani tro se ya.
So ngakirang song shin dong kyogo difference nyam to chetu gure kine angmare kang song. So maybe I do simultaneous so you can follow him. So you're sitting in a 7-point vipashyana posture, and you're having your hands in the gesture of meditation like before, and then you're now slowly moving upwards like this. So you're opening the mudra. And then you press the thumbs onto your ring fingers. And then the 3 outer fingers fold in. Then the index finger sticks out, and then 1 round down to the hips. At the channel at the hips. Then the shoulders are very straight and raised slightly like this, very straight. So then we are pressing the channels of wisdom with the channels of wisdom and compassion. And then you're rubbing it out through your thighs. All the afflictions are being expelled through the knees. Turn around the hands. Place them in this way on your knees. And slowly raise. So slowly raise up. First the left hand, 1 mudra, 1 round. Touch the right elbow with the index finger. And then another mudra, a circle mudra to gather in the winds. For example, when we do a smoke offering, like when there's a good smell, we want to get it towards us. If it's not so good, we want to get it away from us. So this one we want towards us. So 1 round. Block the left nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. So you're inhaling the clear outer wind in white color. And so together with that, you're gathering all the blessings and the compassion of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas that then are inhaled in the form of wind. So slowly you inhale and bring it down to below the navel. So then slowly think that starting from the navel, from below the navel, that wind then slowly pervades all the channels throughout your body. So after everything is pervaded by the wind, then you change change side. So this is the expelling, like outward moving circle here at the other direction. Then you're blocking the right nostril. So like a barley seed or like a rice seed, you're gradually pulling the air, exhaling the air. First slow, then strong, and then in the end slow again. That's 1 exhalation. So at that time, think you're expelling all illness and evil influences, all hindrances from your body. And when you practice shamatha, there is faults like sleepiness and lack of mental clarity and so on. And all of the faults of meditation are being expelled in the form of black wind, in black color. You can do this 1 time or 3 times. Then after that, you change hands back down to the knee. Now you're changing sides. Now with the right hand, you're doing the circle, holding the left elbow with the index finger. And now again the same circle with the left hand, gathering the winds, block the right nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Same visualization as before. Then again you change and you're expelling, with that mudra of like turning away, you're expelling all that defiled wind energy. And so you're exhaling through the right nostril. You can do this once or 3 times. That's up to you. After this, you release this gesture and then come back down to the knees. Now you're inhaling through both nostrils. Same visualization as before. All channels are pervaded by the winds, and after that, you're exhaling through both nostrils all the impurities in the form of black wind. You can do that 3 times or once. Again, up to you. You understand now?
Better? Okay, good. Oh yeah, sem Dharma Lama Tsering Lama Tsering Dharma Tsering ta Dharma ke yang sem nam to chimbon thon te si sona ni pa Lama Tsering gore Lama Tsering la gong ke ti suna si Dharma ke sun suna sem jin char go go do song ne le dang sem kong le la ramap so yas le dang sem kong ram yin te ma le la ramap ngang do yas ta ti yakwa ting ang nes nyu mong ba so si ta nyu mong to nga yo ro wan do ja khina to mong ja tha lo la so ba ke nam to pa te ni ra kwa si ti shok kim bo tan da je na be je si te ni yo wa cha mo yang chung chung tan da so na mi ga ne rang yin ma ya a si rang so la pa ya si yo wa cha mo nam to ti so na te rang wa ngala pa ya yo si te ni de ni ga de sar do wa la cho je jing tuen chung la zhang ma wa si ba me nga yin song do tuen chung chung la zhang ma po nam to yo ga sa ji yang yang zhang go zu a de de zu tong tong ji la zhang ga ma nga de ya ge le si de zu ji la a chu ge ma bo se na sem de de ge ma le si nam to ji yin de nam to ge ji sun zhang do le se ya de sa le tuen chung la zhang ma si ba me nga yin si Demyu ring na gope chun to cho sem ring ngoma na jipe shukchim bo dream te yun bo rina sem gobo chaya ge chun cha yores ya sem lu se yun bo se na tin sem na singwa ta mu pa ta te pa ni ho ti wang de ro ya ke ni kha yores and ta yin na yang si wen jiang si de ga za so so ke kham dang ri pa la tuen go re si ben na san je ke chu pong je ye dong song yo pa te ga za ke sem dang wang bo de ni ti pa ren ba song ya de sa ma de de han so so sa kham dang wang bo de ben na ga za so so sai kham che chen bo na to mo che chen bo de de sem sing wa ta mu ba de ni ri pa ma sa ke sem nyo po nyoto hotel direct la yang jim sem bringa da rpa san de shipa choto chi kar song song wang bo la zeng tu se ya o tinga de la manga si ya kan za re ki tiwt nam shita ba chuni de ma chopa ta ti kan za de la nyuma nga na ni long nyuma ba na ni do cha he chin bo da yu na Tiyu nam shitara sem chowata gopo sheche wa rei yinas ta ti rei tila yang lupa de zo sa go les lupa sem lulu si ya de zo sa xin singu nyompa ra rei la tini sem singwa tang gopa nyompa rei tila tini tini pemara si tu koni rimu si wa si go res sabe ho te som yapo ma shi na tin ne de so ma shi na gom te ang chuen cha lan ju ni yore si te du kan za kan kam tang wang bo ta tin so su ri pa ta te cha ma la ta ne tin te dan te na yin ke nyam ni nang go re song do
The second then is, so we discussed focusing, and the second one is relaxing. And so when you focus first and your focus is very strong, then it's possible that you get a bit tight, and then maybe this tightness leads to actually an increase in thoughts in the mind. And so when these thoughts again proliferate, then you should focus more on the relaxation part of the practice. So when this too much focus becomes irritating to the practice, then you have to allow the body and mind to be in a more natural, settled, relaxed state. And so then abiding within that naturally settled state, then when the afflictive emotions arise, the 5 poisons, that is ignorance, anger, attachment, jealousy, pride, when coarse, more stronger forms of these thoughts and emotions arise, then again, as before, you cut through them directly. And then when more subtle movements of thought, subtle thought formations arise, then here it is that you do not have to reject them. You just let them be naturally in their natural state. And then it is said that first it is best to keep your sessions short, but therefore more frequent. So whenever thoughts begin to proliferate again, then you can take a little break, and then again you resume the practice. And that is better in the beginning, because if you push yourself too hard to meditate and the sessions are too long, then the mind will not be able to abide still. A lot of thoughts will arise and you will be controlled or follow all these thoughts. And so if the fault that arises when you focus for too long for your capacity, then that can turn into the fault of mental agitation or restlessness. And on the other hand, if relaxation is sustained for too long, then that can lead to the faults of lack of mental clarity and sluggishness, and as the mind kind of sinks and you get sleepy. So there's a danger that you become controlled by this mental dullness then. And basically, everyone has to practice according to their own disposition, depending on their own state of mind. And that is why the Buddha had taught 84,000 different Dharma teachings according to the mental capacities and the dispositions of sentient beings. So for this reason, the Buddha had taught the 3 vehicles, different levels of the path. So if there's different kinds of individual. There is those individuals for whom the earth element is predominant, and in that case their ignorance is predominant. And because of that, then they have more tendency of getting sleepy and losing their mental clarity, and just getting a bit bored with the practice, and one loses one's clarity, the mind sinks. And so for that kind of individual, it is better to focus more on the focusing aspect, that is to bring up clear, vivid awareness, and also to have your sense faculties, the sense powers open and very sharp. So they should focus more on that. And then there is another kind of individual, and they're called the monkey mind. So their mind can never stay still. And of the 5 elements, the wind element is here predominant, and that's related to desire. So desire is predominant. And in that case, the mind is more restless and agitated and just can't stay still, like a monkey mind. So if one belongs to that kind of, one is that kind of individual, then one should focus more on the relaxation aspect of the practice. And then there's another kind where basically there is they have both really. They have a balance between sometimes get too restless, sometimes get too sleepy, and so for them it is best to practice focusing and relaxation in turns, so taking turns all the time, alternating. And that is an important point to understand, because if you don't understand that crucial point of what kind of disposition you belong to, then it's possible that all kinds of faults of meditation will arise. So the point here is that one must practice according to one's own like mental state and physical state, one's own capacity, one's own disposition.
Sai kam ta long kam kare xie qian do sim sing wa de xie qian do mu ba sen qian do ho de li so la ta ne ti te la te ti ki ti ke re kare la nyam ni si go da zain ne kar ma nga la na so te se xin ne de gom na de ke.
So then now you can see for yourself, try to look at yourself and see what kind of individual you are. If in yourself of the elements, the earth element is stronger or the wind element is stronger, or if you have more a tendency towards sluggishness and sleepiness or agitation. So you see for yourself what kind you belong to, and then for 5 minutes now or so we will practice, so you can practice according to what your own disposition.
so tate shine ke ramba ndor de baji o tin je tan ti mi lung jin dan lung mi se ya ta tan de ramba ji xu yin se tene nam jo pena di Germany ne zap pasang ke gonda de la chuchu ni kreng na a chu shine nyam ni si yu pepe pembo de lando kan sin na ting chang ke tu chu tin ting chang ke me ho te chu na pe le ga trila chawo dang tene kare na jo po si ya ke thapi be chu te sin du sem ke ne pa chama te pasel dang yo de te cham chan lu te ke ti ji sem me ne tini lu sem ni pa la accident no cha cham chan ka ke chora mi li rin do do chora mi ba sin rin do do pe stress shock kim bo cha ka ke la na cha yong do chama pa te ne pa chama to ti nang na tong ba no cha te ta shine te gom te so la sam no tang sem te lu na na sem te la lu sin ta ti nyam ni sin te so la chora da ne ba oh tini karla energy ho te so le tia te se de on du so la choba dan ne ba ona le ka kare na tix tani sa wo chaya dan chang ma chaya o te na hon do te du mambo che ke ping ke do ze mambo yu hon do
So that in brief are the stages of practicing shamatha, calm abiding. So I've explained some of those divisions of shamatha with support and without support and with and without winds and so on. And so in our center in Germany, actually on a regular basis, we are practicing shamatha every Friday evening for 2 hours. And a lot of people actually say that it's really helped them a lot because especially nowadays, due to the time, it's a modern time, and the lifestyle of people. People, they have a lot of things to do and they're very busy, and we also always try to do everything very quickly. And so by doing that, then the mind is sent completely to the outside, the outside world. And so often the body can catch up with the mind, and then that leads to all kinds of problems. For example, people just pass out, their body collapses and so on. So basically they have lost all their energy, their power. They have become kind of empty inside. And now when we practice shamatha, then first of all the mind gathers inside within the body, so we are all focused, and then that mind also abides in a relaxed, calm state. And because of that, you develop energy, you generate energy and a feeling and a lot of strength within. And if that is established, if you have this energy within yourself, then whatever you do on the outer level, whatever activity you do and so on, it will be done with clarity, and also it will be done in a clean, a proper way. So a lot of people have said that this practice of shamatha has really helped them a lot.
Shine gontang la chetang pe mambo je yore te ina ya rembang nga ke thoni nyam se leng yu tu chu khira yo marwa ten du chetang sem shiwa la mene ya te teni wang bo ke yol la chun sem chung ro yo ra ten du ta pen na tambo tren shiwa na yi mek zog la teni tana tagarang na semche te ne ya te chik te chikware ni ba te la amcho ke dra ma da ko da dra ya po ko na cha do po ko na dang cha dang si da nam to te tu ro yo re te di kare la klang ne sha la ti gom de la ti dong ra ti ke te la nyon 담보 깨때 배 흉침보 요리된도 대 흉침보 가서 남도 참아 파탁스지 대고게 총을 다 텔라 셈다 mikpa tani di dra di som tagarang chik ta ten tani kale koke chung ro kapso di sem de ma kale sem shiwala ne yak taphi chik o te si ur tini zokta dra tani sumba tela ta dik zok dra tiro Jiki thola di tereng di tang chi wari long na ni ma ro ya yong lung jing di na yi sin hotel long make sem chik de den shin go mya tang yiba tela tereng tena tang tuwa na yin te mi se ya de tenin de ba ta ma ba ta chi ga sam no ma tang na tong tho san na sa tho se dwa ko kare dana tagarang thola rama byan gomya tang tani thama tela tiri kompa jan dogan nani kangwa tekale ya cha tani jema te ma pap ta trosin kompa yon tani kompa tela longda mikpa sem that is a tagarang the tin yang shival ne ya o tandasin nyamni si use chiranzo namju nang ni shine gom bakapso han tu thong de la atenda wari musen khahela na miktin de ke pendo chiar shine la ne ya te yar no do khahela na ti dra te ke peng chen do los khahela na ti long 파츠타야 데이장도 랑도 카실라나 콤바잔도 야 되게 chan도 소소탄 감릭다 왕보다라 쉬와나 이테인디 티 가레게 펜토치야 데 망아세는 야고레 데 마옹발탄다나나 야본도
So for the practice of the meditation of calm abiding, there's a lot of different levels, but then so there's 5 different levels. So just in brief, since we don't have so much time. First of all, when you meditate and the mind cannot stay still, then what happens is that your mind becomes distracted by the objects that are perceived by the senses. So as you mentioned before, then in that case, you can use the form, the object that is perceived by the eye consciousness as your object of focus, and you focus on that single-pointedly. And so just as you mentioned before, as a focal object. And then another method is to use sound that you hear as a focal object. So normally when we hear pleasant sound, then instantly we are attached to that. And if we hear something unpleasant, then we have an aversion to that. So many of these thoughts develop based on sound. And so how to use sound, for example, what we do is we are using this singing bowl, and when you ring it, you hear the sound. And first it is very strong, very loud. And with that loud gong, you think that you're cutting through all thoughts. And then thoughts, and then the volume of that sound gets less and less, more and more quiet. And so the mind calms down as the gong, the sound calms down. And then you abide the mind and your focus and the sound that you focus on, all gathering it into one, single-pointedly. And so gradually, then the sound gets more and more quiet, and along with that, the mind becomes more and more quiet and more calm. So that's a second method, using the sound. And the third method is using smell. Also, as you mentioned before, you inhale the air, and as we mentioned before, you're bringing everything into a single focus: the mind, the wind, and then the focus on that, the focal object. And so you're using the smell or the wind, the breath as a focal object. And then number 4 is to we said before, during the shamatha without a support, you just rest in a natural state without thinking about anything of the past, present, or future. And we said before, whatever your state is at that given time, if it is empty, you just settle in that emptiness. And if it's clear, you settle in that clarity. And whatever the current state of mind is, you just settle within that directly and meditate. So that's the 4th method. And the 5th one is to use walking as a meditation. For example, walking in the temple, in the shrine, and observing each and every step that you take as you lift your leg and as it comes back down to step on the ground. So with each step, you are bringing again together your focus, the focal object, which is the step, and also the mind. And this is also a method for the mind to calm down. And so now everyone is different. There is for some people, some have said that for them it is better to use a visual focal object, and others have said that a sound is more beneficial for them, and for others observing the breath, the wind, is more helpful, and others like walking meditation. So again, you need to see really what works best for you. What you find yourself is of the greatest benefit for your mind to calm down into a settled state. That is the method that you should apply. So this is how we have done it in our center, and it might be also good for you to do that in the future. So how about we are using this bowl now? The walking might be a bit difficult here.